Information communication technologies is inducing a global change, and this change is affecting nations, businesses, individuals, and society at large. Welcome to your multi-award winning tech show on television with Don Pedro Aganbi. Today, we have an incredible package for you. Stay with us. And in case you've just joined us, you're watching Africa's numero uno tech show on television. When we come back from this quick break, you meet our tech personality of the week. Our tech personality of the week is Mr. Peter Ejiofor, Chief Executive Officer of Ethnos IT Security. He speaks on the state of IT security in Nigeria. I'm sure you like this. How would you assess IT security in Nigeria today?
Information security in Nigeria has matured. It has grown, all right. The private sector, particularly the financial service industry, have embraced the use of technology to protect the people, the process, and the assets that carry their businesses. So in terms of growth, it will interest you to know that we have actually matured. We have adopted information security practices, the technology. So we are seen as a company that is taking information security seriously. And we have developed a lot of competencies locally to the point that some of our people are now working abroad from here, and some of them are traveling to pursue foreign employment from skills developed locally. So if you look at the people, we have grown a lot of people for the global market. If you look at the practices, we have also developed confidence in the practices. CBN has a roadmap, and those roadmaps are being taken seriously by the financial service industry and even other financial service industries too. So security has really matured in Nigeria. The only thing we don't have is that we don't have indigenous developers for security.
Why is that?
I think that's something that, coming from the background of software development, I've worked for a software development company. There's this culture and attitude of not trusting local products. Now, granted that sometimes the quality may be not comparable to some other products that have been tested and quality checked. Okay, so you can't blame them too much because of funding. Okay, you've got to invest in research, you've got to involve in people development, you've got to involve in marketing to gain acceptability. All of that costs money. Do we have that money? I don't think so. So we may not have produced very good product from the beginning. So there is attitude of Nigerian product is not good enough. I remember when we're putting up software locally, it was only Bank of the Industry at that time that bought the software that we developed for banking software. Other banks didn't test it. They didn't want to try it because they didn't want to touch it because it was a Nigerian product. So I think that the companies are not investing in developing product because first, they don't trust the market, and secondly, it costs so much money. But today, technology has simplified the process. And so that's what we're trying to do. For example, the application we're trying to develop, we don't intend to sell it at the first. We want people to test it and build competence and confidence that this application is good. Okay? So I think that why people haven't really invested in developing local products is how much time it takes them to recoup the investment. And do they have that money to invest to wait? Sometimes they talk about public sector encouragement and all of that. But again, the people in the public sector, they are the same thing as us. We all have the same culture and mindset, which is why some government is now insisting in some industries that there must be local content involved. Because otherwise, people want to buy everything foreign. We want to buy foreign shoes. We want to buy foreign shirts. We want to buy foreign computers. So it's the same attitude that affects the software and security industry.
Okay, now going forward, let's look at the role of government in the private sector, like you have said, has embraced, cybersecurity, IT security in leveraging operations, empowering operations. Can we say that about the government?
Two things that I want to talk about with respect to government, because we're doing something for government right now. Number one is the attitude of the people. From my experience, most people in government are not committed to their jobs. So they are spending money because it's another way to spend money, okay, to fulfill the obligation of the budget. But are they implementing it? They are not. And this is across all levels. And I have criticized and I've questioned some of their actions. For example, you go to an agency of government and you say, let us use domain email address. A good number of government officials still use email at Yahoo, at Gmail to conduct government businesses. And so it starts from that basics. The way in which they purchase product, you will see how committed they are. They want to, for example, they want to put up a tender. They bundle security, hardware, and software together. Which company has the right competence and expertise to deliver these 2-3 products together? It's rare. So they award the contract not to people that they even structure from the beginning. It is not structured for performance so that they can achieve return on their investment. So they are buying products, but are they implementing them? So I see this attitude across government. The public sector have not woken up to take the use of technology as seriously as they have invested in it over the years. But recently we've seen some changes, gradual changes, in driving their businesses using technology, which are called digital transformation. But security side of it, they are still paying lip service to it. You speak to a government agency, there was one I was talking to recently, and I said, you have computer everywhere. You are talking to the public that you have now embraced technology. You are using IT to drive your business. You're using communication. Have you considered something as simple as having information security management system as a standard practice? And they were like, what does that mean? I said, what is your security policy of this organization? Who authorizes what? And what is the objective? What drives your security policy? And they don't have. What is the IT policy of the government? This is a state government, and they don't even have. I would expect that by now, even the federal government should have chief information security officer. And the states should have chief information security officer who is driving and looking at the operation from the offensive part, defensive part, and the governance. But I'm not aware that they have such. Technology, as I tell people, hardware has been conquered. There was a time you have computers scattered everywhere. Network has been conquered because now through the internet we can do pretty much everything. The next revolution is security. Because security touches everywhere. It touches defense, it touches production, it touches utility, it touches energy, it touches financial, it touches communication. For example, I ask people questions when our communications are not working effectively, downtime in our ability to communicate by phone. Who's asking questions? Could there be a denial of service? Possibly. Could anybody, any company, any country, anybody had launched a malware that has affected our ability to communicate and then be able to advise the government? Is government interested, or should we just say network is down, network is bad, signal is poor, let us wait until they resolve the problem? When there's a breach with amongst the communication industry, the back door, do they inform the public? How do we know? What processes are followed to inform the public when there's a breach? Just concerned about what do I get out of this? But the private sector is taking the lead, in my opinion.
Okay, so as we wrap up this interview, lately we've had issues of kidnapping, cyber terrorism all over the country. What would have thought that with the advent of the GSM revolution, the 4G, now we have 5G, cybersecurity experts all over like you, that would have been able to have some of these issues curtailed by now? Because the report we have is that these kidnappers, these bandits, they use mobile phones. So what is going on? Does it not worry you that we haven't made much progress in this regard?
It worries me same way that it worries everybody else. There are many sides to it. And I think that, which is, in technology we say everything is possible. Okay? It is to what extent do you want to go? If we want to use telecommunications to track terrorists, I think it is pretty possible. It just means that we need to come up with laws and policies that will untangle the stiff environment that makes it difficult for some people to function. Okay, for example, if you see a terrorist or if you suspect people that are carrying out terrorist activities as an individual, who do you report to? Okay, and if you don't know who you report, even if you know who to report to, how does that person transmit that information to the other person? Because you can't walk into a telecom company and say, please help me track this. You can't walk in as an individual. Even if you have police report, it has to go through legal process, it has to go through some other scrutinization before they can grant you approval. They made people on the list. So it is, if government wants to track those communications, there are what we call legitimate, I think it's called, I remember the name, technology that allows government to even track communication using keyword, so which they can plug into the communication environment and be able to use keyword to detect some kinds of activities that are of security interest to government. Okay, so if you track that, you can decode the conversation and follow through the conversation. And I think that some of the security agencies may have them, but whether they are committed to using them to track this menace of cyber terrorism is what we don't know. But technology should be able to give us the advantage, the enablement. The possibilities are there. If they want to do tracking, surveillance, the possibilities are there. The platforms are there. But whether the people are committed to doing it is a different ballgame. But if they want, they can. The law enforcement can use it. The telecom can use it. A special agency can be created, provided with the capacity and the operational environment in terms of the laws that require them to function effectively. They can do that. Technology provides the ability. There's no limit of what we can do with communication and software. There's no limit.
Okay, what is it that you wish for the IT security ecosystem in Nigeria that is not there right now?
Again, it goes back to the lawmakers to create organizational structure within the government that are sincere and honest, that can give us the support, okay, the platform. And then, such as if we have to, the government can initiate events that are funded by government and then allow the security industry to come and showcase their capabilities. And then allow the consumers to also come to that market and see what we're capable of doing. and then encourage the consumers to provide financial support to those who are willing to develop, those who are willing to create. The venture capital capacity that we access today are all foreign investment. I'm not aware of how much local investment that can be plugged into development, because the skills are here, the people are here, but the process does not exist. So there's a disconnect between people, process, and the product. So the people are here, the skills are with the people, they are here, the process is not there, but the market needs the product. So we want to be able to give the product to the market. So government should help if they want to, not even, I think they should help. We should call them to help. Let us collaborate and sit down and figure out, in all honesty, what we need to put in place for the IT and security industry to thrive. People are committed. There are people who are willing to invest time, energy, but probably don't have the money. But I think that the environment is still available for us to take advantage of. And some of us are here. We're not going anywhere.
Is Nigeria ripe for a cybersecurity agency like some of the experts are postulating?
I think that Nigeria is ripe, but is a system and going to encourage it to thrive? I don't know. But Nigeria is ripe because the population is here. There's so much financial transaction going through the system, which throws up the risk. So the risk is here. Now, cybercrime doesn't have boundaries. It's looking for the loopholes. Wherever the loopholes exist, they can take advantage of it. So they can move money from here to another country and convert it to their currency. Because we're talking about blockchain technology and all of the free movement of transaction across, we need to also look at the fact that if it is not properly guarded and protected and regulated, Naira can be converted into dollars somewhere. So we can't say, oh, they can't take the Naira away, they can take the Naira away. And there are people who also maintain foreign currency accounts locally. So the risk is here. Population is here. The industries are growing. So the cybersecurity market is growing and we shouldn't take our eyes off it. One major hit can cause a big problem for the industry. And it's not only about the money. What if a country decides to launch a malware into our defense equipment that is not protected? Our defense systems are running on software. Our power systems are running on software. They have computers that are communicating with the services, and where they have addresses. What if an organization decides to launch an attack on our power system and shut down the power? We can say we don't have power. Maybe we may not care, but there are organizations that are riding on power. What if they decide to shut down our air defense system? What if they decide to launch malware virus into our healthcare system? Today, there are hospitals that are interconnected, and they are linked up with some other partners around the world, where they can conduct diagnosis and treatment across the internet. So what if they decide to inject a wrong chemical into a diagnosis? What will be the impact? What if they decide to launch a malware into an airplane system or the radar system that checks the airworthiness of the airplane, and then it gives a wrong reading, and the airplane itself is not airworthy, and we put it in the air? What happens? So the risks do exist, and we should care. We should pay attention to security. The government should pay attention, because you don't know who will be in that airplane. For example, we have, when NITDA started NDPR, and I ask a question. So who is monitoring the NITDA to ensure that even NITDA itself meet the minimum requirement that they are enforcing for data protection. Okay, so are there processes in place that ensure that even the leader itself is well equipped to deliver that job? I don't know whether those things are there. So the agencies, if they set them and there's no effective performance monitoring instrument in place, they may just be like any other agency. So what I think they should do is the existing ones, can they optimize them, expand their scope, provide them the power and authority to function, and then create a monitoring system that can see that they are performing based on the set goals. So that's what I think, instead of creating a new cybersecurity agency.
What is the role of AI, artificial intelligence, IoT, the Internet of Things, blockchain, IT security to national development?
Artificial intelligence, for its role to national development, is helping to develop good technology products. Okay, so it's going to help the Nigeria to produce or to bring out products of technology that will be useful. Cybersecurity will help to protect those products that are useful and the people and the information that are being transmitted through the technology. Now, blockchain has also opened a new area of expansion in the financial services industry. Initially, we said it was a criminal market, but now somehow it's being legalized in other places, and we can't say we will be in isolation. So it will help to provide another channel of transaction for people who have confidence in blockchain. So Internet of Things will also show that we can automate a number of things that we can do manually. And some of them are even being carried out right now. Some of our cars are driven by software. Some people have houses that have some bit of software that is embedded in some of the tools that are in the house, their doors and electricity bulbs. You can turn it off with your phone, turn it on with your phone and all. So Internet of Things, many things have not been brought into the internet. How does it help national development? Because it creates employment for national development, it creates opportunity for expression, technical expression, it creates opportunity for growth. So all of this brought together will help to increase development of consumption of technology and confidence, and of course, greater market, because you have flavor and many people doing different kinds of things within the technology ecospace, creating more opportunities. That's what I see. All of them bringing back into development for the national economy.
Without embracing IT security, is Nigeria going to be under serious threat?
We'll be under serious threat if we continue to pay lip service to cybersecurity protection. Surely, as I will think about, there's no area of national practice and development that is isolated from technology. Currently, literally everything has a bit of interface with technology. And so if we all come together in this cyberspace and we are enjoying the benefit of that the cyberspace ecosystem provides, okay, you can make telephone call from your computer, you can receive payment and make payment, you can use your phone and then you can receive payment and make payment, you can pay on the go, you do all of these things, and we become very dependent on technology. When there's an attack, how do we recover? And there's no way they cannot attack. They can attack the hospital. They can shut down the server that has the healthcare management information data. They can alter the data. And if they alter the data, you can issue wrong prescription. And that will be crisis. They can change code in the software that enables you to check the airworthiness of the airplanes. If they change the code of those applications, it can give wrong reading. What about our defense system? The airplanes that they purchased today, who is managing the software? What about the source code? Who is updating those applications? Most of them run applications. So what happens when those applications are out of date? What happens if the people that have the source code decide to give command and control access to enemies? It has happened before, somewhere around the world. So, and it can happen again. So when we talk about cybersecurity, it's not all about the financial services. It covers every aspect. So we are at a risk heavily if we do not take information security seriously. It is the next revolution. The next war is going to be fought based on the cyber capabilities. So they can send missiles through the internet and it can reach anybody. And if it takes care of my laptop, for example, and are not protected, it can spread within the country. They can define the regional zone that they can work and not activate it because they will send it like a malware. And it will go round until they activate it, it will shut down our computers. And what if we are monitoring the other enemies from those computers? So some people can say, oh, we are not connected to the internet. Who said so? Who said so? So what about our information? You can say you are not, today somehow you're forced to send an email and receive an email. You don't even know where it goes to, how it gets there. You just know that you send an email and you receive it in the other corner. If anybody sees it in between, do you know? You have no way of knowing. And one of the things that I tell people is what I call cyber hygiene. Okay? You forward me a message, you forward me a prayer. Because we like prayers a lot. And I have nothing wrong with prayer. But I'm very wary when people send it to me. Because the enemies know our behavior. They follow this using artificial intelligence to see what makes sense to us from the message that we share with others. So they know we love prayers. So they can embed malware into that prayer content. And what happens? Son sends it to the father, father sends it to wife, wife sends it, and it goes around. And I call that cough. Because when you cough and you do not cover your mouth, it spreads out. The other person who is not covering his mouth will receive it or will breathe it. So when we share messages that we don't know where it's coming from, we are spreading the cough. And you have no way of knowing what is inside that video or picture. The only thing you see is the output. What is the software that's running it? It's a code that is helping it to behave and appear in as an image when it comes to you. And what the WhatsApp and Telegram and all of them have done is to move the liability to us by writing a code that allows you to know that it was forwarded. Why do you think it was done? So you know it was forwarded, you accepted it, so the liability is on you. So people have to be careful when they share information. You share news. You think it doesn't matter. Many times, some of those news that we share, they are fabricated false news. And what are they doing? They trigger people's emotion. And they make you think in a certain way. You can even hate people without knowing that you hate people because you formed opinion based information that you received. And who is the author of that information? You don't know. You don't ask. You have no way of knowing. You have no way of fact checking. You have no way of scanning your system to know whether this thing has something else embedded in it or not. So what we see is the output. And the output is not all there is in technology. There is a power somewhere that drives it. So cyber hygiene is something that people have to begin to entrench and inculcate. And have self-control and have self-discipline because we don't know what we are spreading. It's more dangerous. The danger with technology is the more interesting it is, the more value we see, there is an inherent problem coming with it, which we do not see. Which is why you solve one problem with technology, you create another. You solve one problem, you create another. So there's no end to it. Which is why we kept innovating and creating. We had 1G, from 1G we moved to 2G, from 2G to 3G, 4G, and 5G. 5G was heavily criticized, but we have taken it now. Where else are we going from 5G? We're going somewhere. Because they're going to discover the problems that this one has caused, and they want to solve it with another generational development. So there's no end. So government, individuals should become organizations should become very conscious of security because there is element of risk in everything that we do. And the security, it's all about managing the risk. If you don't manage the risk, what happens? Crisis is bad enough.
Well, Mr. Peter Ejiofor, thank you indeed for your time.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed every moment of this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you indeed. All right, that's how far time will allow us this week on this highly informative and educative package of your show, Tech TV. For comments and observation, reach us on the numbers and email now showing on your screen. On behalf of the entire production crew, thanks for watching. Same time, same station. I'll be back next time. I'll see you.